So in this video, we're going to have a look at exporting some step models. So I'm going to take the very familiar plain old box and we're going to export that from Fusion 360, export it as a step file. So you just literally hit export and you go down here to where it says step. And remember, they changed the rules now so that step is staying. Before they had said it wasn't going to stay, so now it is. Literally when you hit export, it just goes that way. I already saved it once just to check it, so that guy all works, and that's the step file is now created. And then, so this kind of weird stuff happens in Fusion sometimes when stuff is happening. And then I want to do something a little more complex. So this is a little scraper. It's for scraping the car window when it ices up. And I 3D printed it. So that's something I designed in Fusion and 3D printed. So again, we're going to export that one to step as well. So just export, select step, and export. And that one's already there as well because I already did that. So they're both going to be there. And then we're going to go ahead and import them into FreeCAD. So looking at the import step into FreeCAD, it appears that there are some trickery that you have to do. So I'm in the part design workbench, and what I do is I import one of these step files. So this box, I'm going to import it. And if I import it and look at it here, it's in a part, but there is no body. So if I now add a body, the body will go inside that part, but the box won't go inside the part. So what you have to do is you got to get rid of this part first. So literally delete that. And when it asks me, do I want to delete the contents, I say no. So I keep that box. Then what I'm going to do is create a part, and I'm going to put a body inside of this part. So I'll put that body in. I'm going to take this box and drop it inside that body. And notice it creates this base feature inside, and it leaves the box copy out here. So don't mess with the box copy. You can't delete that because that's referenced into this base feature. And then I'm going to bring over this box, and I'm actually going to put a hole in the box. I'm just going to grab that face, so just the face, draw a sketch, we'll put a little hole just in here somewhere, and we're going to constrain the sketch. So we'll give that, we'll make it a 3mm hole. And what I like to do, so one little tip here is if you right click when you got a little, see it's trying to constrain a dimension or a radius, right click to let that go, then you can grab your dimension and you can pull it out. I like them to be off the model. It's just a thing because I used to be a draftsman and that's something that's important to me. So I'm going to dimension this from these two points, and I'm going to call that 3mm. I'm just rounding up here, there's nothing specific. Actually, having said that, I'm going to change that because I want it to be 4mm so that we're not breaking out that edge. And then I'm going to change this guy, and I'm going to make it, again, just rounding up. I'm going to say 7, actually round down. I'm going to say 7mm on that one. Right click to get rid of that guy, bring it out here so I can see what it is. So I'm 7, you can see I'm completely constrained. I'm 7, 4, and a 3mm hole. So I'm going to close that. And now, with a bit of luck and following wind, I should be able to select that sketch. And if I try to do a hole, it creates its own dimensions, which I don't like. So I'm going to do a pad instead. So I'm going to hit the pad, and there you go. So now I've got a hole that I drew, and it's 5mm deep, and I can go, I can make it as deep as I like, and boom, we have modified the part. So I believe I can continue to modify. I can add a pad or whatever, so we can try that. Let's have a little go quick. we'll go over here, we'll go to the sketch. Actually, no, we'll go to the pocket. We'll hit that face. We'll do a new sketch. We're going to hit a little square on there. This time, I'm not actually going to constrain it, just for grins and giggles. I'll pop that guy up here. I'm going to go to the tasks. I'm going to say make a pad. And there you go. So now you can see I've added a pad. I've added a pocket. So this box seems to be pretty editable. Now, one thing I want to show you, we're going to make it a little bit more complex. So I'm going to leave this part alone. I'm going to go back here. I'm actually going to hide that. Going to import a different part. So we're going to import something that's a little more complex. Nothing too fancy, but it's basically a ice scraper by 3D printed, created in Fusion. And all I want to do is put a hole in this surface here. So I'm going to take that same process again. I'm going to delete that part that it brought in, leave my contents alone. I'm going to create a new part, and I'm going to have a new body inside that part, and I'm going to copy this guy into here. So now that guy, if you look, has gone grayed out, and the base feature is now here. So do exactly the same things I just did with my box. I'm going to select face, create a sketch. I'm going to draw a circle. Actually, let me do it differently. I'm going to do a box just for grins and giggles. And I will constrain this one just to make sure. So I'm going to say that hole is going to be 13. And again, I like to pull all this stuff out so I can actually see it. And then this guy is going to be 12. Just so it's not square. I'm going to pull that guy out of there. And then I'm going to say this guy and this guy are equal. And this guy are equal. And then I'm just going to constrain this guy to here, 26. And same deal with this guy to here, make that 20. And now I got a fully constrained sketch. I just did that just to make sure that that's not what's causing any issues. So it's fully constrained. We got our sizes and everything there. So I close that. And now, as you would imagine, I should be able to grab this sketch. Let's just grab the whole, edit the sketch instead of grabbing it. So now I should be able to just put a pocket into there. On the sketch, say a pocket. And you see how it all disappeared? That's because when I hit this guy, cut out of base feature failed. Womp womp. And I've not been able to do that successfully on this model. So my conclusion from that is we may see different outcomes with different models, different complexities. So I tried to make that, a pad, and it still didn't work. So basically, if you look here, the body and all of this is having an issue with this more complex shape. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. If any of you know, please leave me a comment. And if there's something we can address, I'll include that in the next video. Thanks. So as you can see, it looks like the outcomes with step are going to be varied and not necessarily perfect. So I don't think relying on transferring from Fusion to FreeCAD with step is going to really be the answer. We need to be able to recreate those models. I did see that if you go in the draft workbench, you can actually explode one of those models into faces. So you get every single face that was in the model as a separate face and an editable face. So you can do something with that. Clearly, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to work with, but I think there is definite potential. My approach is going to be to remodel stuff, partly because I want to learn how to do it properly in FreeCAD, and partly because I think the models will be more, the integrity of the model will be better if we model them rather than using step. I also saw some comments about doing sketches on faces may not produce as good a model as if you do it from the planes. Well, I did try that same process with the scraper, drawing the square on a plane and try to push that through it, and that still didn't work. So it didn't make any difference in terms of how the step model is editable. So if anybody has any input as to how to make those step models more editable or more usable, feel free to let me know. I'll certainly include them in the next video. Thanks. Oh, by the way, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be doing some more, and give this video a like. Thanks.